Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the ships of Naval Action. Today we're taking at a large frigate, the HMS Endymion. Endymion, something like that. She is a frigate. She was a 40-gun frigate to be exact, or rated 40 guns rather, and served during the French Revolutionary Wars, the Napoleonic Wars, the War of 1812 and all the way up to the First Opium War. So, she was built, which the British did often, to the lines of a French ship, the Pomone, which was captured in 1794. So the British would often do this. They would capture a French ship. They would be like, this is a good ship. Let's take one. And they would then build more ships of similar lines. And the Pomone had good sailing qualities. But I lost my train of thought. But the Endymion had amazing sailing qualities. She was excellent. She was known as the fastest sailing ship in the Royal Navy during the Age of Sail, hitting 14.4 knots sailing large or 11 knots sailing close hold. That's pretty impressive, especially for a square rigger. Although I don't know how close hold is here, but still, 11 knots close hold, 14.4 knots sailing large. She is a fast ship. And Endymion, her last active duty was during the Opium Wars. So let's properly go through her history. So in the Revolutionary Wars, what she basically did was she got a lot of captured a lot of smaller vessels, and she did some convoy escorting. In the Napoleonic Wars, she was part of a blockading squadron off of Brest for a couple of years. And she would eventually be dispatched to hunt some French and Spanish prizes, merchants, and some small privateers, and stuff like that. But she spent a lot of time blockading and some cruising. And in 1812, this is where things get interesting for her. So in 1812, she went through some repair at Plymouth, and in 1813, she left dock with 2 extra 32-pounder carronades on her weather deck. And she went off to North America, captured some American privateers, also fought with Prince de Neufchâtel, which was unsuccessful, lost over 100 men, her crew being 340, so that's a third of her crew. Killed, wounded, or in some way missing. So that's still a third of the crew against a small 12-pounder. I don't know what to call it, a sloop? Anyways, it was a grave mistake, I guess, or a grave failure on the Endymion. And, well, she spent more time in the war 1812 hunting some privateers and stuff like that. And in August, during the War of 1812, she took part in the expedition up the Penobscot River in Maine to go capture the American 18-pounder frigate, the Adams, which they failed in capturing, but they did capture 11 other ships and destroyed 6 ships. But here is her most important or famous engagement. The engagement with the USS President, one of America's super frigates, 24-pounder frigate. Endymion is also 24 frigate, but substantially lighter. So, the President left the United States, New York, for New York rather. No, left New York, my mistake, under command of Stephen Decatur. And she fell with the British blockading squadron, consisting of a Rasay and a couple of frigates. Most importantly, the Endymion. Then the blockading squadron quickly gave chase. The President, of course, being vastly outgunned. I mean, there was a Rasay of 56 guns chasing her. The President tried to run away, but of course, Endymion, she's very fast, and Endymion overhauled her squadron, easily caught up with the President, and the Endymion was able to rake the President a few times and did a lot of damage. However, the president, of course, she would focus on the rigging of the Endymion because, well, the president didn't have much choice but to run away. And so, therefore, the president struck her colors to the Endymion. However, the president did attempt to make a run for it, but by that time, Pomone and the Tenedos had caught up, so Decatur struck her colors again, and Captain Lumley of Pomone took possession of president. So the reason the Endymion didn't take possession of the president was because she was busy repairing her rigging after the president had struck, and Decatur saw the advantage. Or rather, seized the opportunity. It was a good try, but too late. So, this battle has come up some criticism whether the Endymion won fairly or if it was due to her fellow support or a fellow support ship in the blockading squadron. And I'm not going to take a side in here, but the USS Constitution in the Java Sea, for example, the Constitution easily won. It's hard to say here because, first of all, the Endymion had the rest of the blockading squadron with her, so that wasn't any chance. Even if Decatur had stood and done a fair fight, this rest of the blockading squadron would quickly catch up and the president would lose. On top of that, the president also shot her rigging. We don't know exactly how it would have gone if the president spent time shooting at the hull again because she was trying to escape. But nevertheless, the USS president was captured, and HMS Endymion did take her, essentially. But, you know, USS president, big victory for the British, of course. They had, I believe, during that time were in a bit of a rut with the super frigates wreaking havoc and other privateers as well. But, anyways, that is basically the history of the Endymion, except that she served in a fleet during the first Opium War, including operations on the Yangtze River, which makes her quite about 50 years of service. That's quite impressive. Of course, not a bit on and off, but she was the fastest ship for the Royal Navy in the Age of Sail, and the Royal Navy weren't able to reproduce this. They tried multiple times, but they weren't able to. And in Naval Action, we have her, and she is fast. Of course, I love the 24 pounders. So she has 48 guns in Naval Action. She was rated 40 guns historically, but that's not what she was carrying. That you see that a lot. How many guns the ship is rated for is not necessarily how many they carry. So she has 26 24 pounders, 28 24 pounders, correction, on her gun deck, and I have mounted 20 32 pounders on her weather deck. So similar to what she would carry in real life. So she has a decent armament, 24 pounders, good, 32 pounder carronades, good. She is fast. She isn't the best turner. She doesn't have the best structure, but her speed, she is a dream to sail and chase down other people. Well, I don't do that in the PvE server, but other people and other ships. There's nothing running away from the Endymion, really. Well, except for some scenarios, but in a going large, running away, downwind, nothing's running away from the Endymion. And she is a good-looking frigate, I think. But I think that quickly covers the Endymion. I do hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all of that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!